tonight on an interview with an interesting person, Leo Poroshin, with your host, Kevin Schoen, and the band Larry, and me, Sexy Hermit.
Hey, Kevin.
Leo, welcome aboard, man.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thanks for coming on out. I really appreciate it. So, you're an interesting person, I hear.
I'd like to think so, and my mom told me as much.
She did?
Yes.
Well, that's good. She was a reassuring woman, then, I assume, huh?
Oh, yeah, had a good upbringing. Very encouraging.
Very encouraging.
It helps when you have like that leg up from the beginning, you know?
Right. Yeah. And so, tell me about yourself. You're into, like, plays and doing those kinds of things? And
I sort of ended up in theater.
Yeah.
I've read the book where the guy's writing about theater people, and he says, you don't join theater, you end up in it. Like one would end up in a pond or in jail, for instance. So, yeah, theater sort of just happens to you. And to me, I studied cinema mostly, and I wrote before.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, kind of really got interested in doing theater and just submitted a play for consideration to the local theater, to Riverwalk Theater.
Riverwalk.
And it got picked. And
Huh.
the rest, as they like to say, is history.
Really? So, you're writing, but you're also directing the
I started
plays?
out as a writer,
Yep.
for myself mostly, or write poetry and prose, and then I studied cinema and filmmaking, and I thought that would be my calling because I really enjoy film as a medium.
Where did you study filmmaking then?
I studied that at LCC.
Oh, okay.
Studied that at the filmmaking program. they
Lansing
had there.
Community College,
Yes.
right. Okay.
And I started my own little production company. We would be making short movies. And then during the hiatus, I really remembered how much I love theater. 'Cause
Right.
I grew up exposed to lots of theater. I'm being from Moscow.
Right.
It's one of Moscow and then Soviet Union, now Russia, is one of the theater capitals of the world. You
Oh,
you heard
really?
that's where method acting was originated, Stanislavski and the bunch.
Yep.
They all came from there. And we would literally go to a theater performance at least every other weekend.
Oh, really?
There's tons of good theater going on, and still happens there. People there. I mean, over there, young people would pack the theaters.
Really?
Yes.
Yep. So it's more of a cultural thing over there.
Very much so, yes. And there's
Interesting.
this glut of there's this oversaturation of good theater there, and I was exposed to it from an early age. So I figured, direct. I mean, it really is two different beasts, but
right.
the concept is about the same.
Right.
Cinema got a lot of its terms from theater. The directing, somebody who directs the scene. Yeah. So I decided to try my hand in theater, and I ended up liking it for some reason.
Well, so you came from Moscow. Interesting. When did you come over here? Well, how old were you around?
I was about 14, and we came
14,
here.
your family came, huh?
Yep, and
Yep.
we came here in end of February of '92.
Yep.
So I've been here for over 26 years now. It's going to be 27 next February.
Interesting.
Yep, we
Yep.
came here when Soviet Union was crumbling and falling apart.
Yeah, as it was falling, it's like a bit after it kind of fell apart.
Right.
Yep.
It was a very heady time there, very unstable. So my family decided to pack up and go to the safer shore, so to speak. So we were able to get the refugee status.
Oh, really?
Due
Okay.
to my mom being Armenian and displaced from her place of birth.
I see. Yep. Armenia. Yep.
Yep. She was actually from Azerbaijan, and Armenia and Azerbaijan are still actually in a state of war with each other over a disputed region. So all the Armenians from Azerbaijan who lived there for hundreds of years or centuries, they got displaced. They had to move out. So because of my mom's origins, we were able to apply and to get the refugee status.
And so, but you had been in your mother had been in Moscow for quite some time prior to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Her family had to all move from there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And so that's in the Caucasus between the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea, right?
Right, so it's called the Transcaucasian region. It's to the south of the Caucasus Mountains.
Okay, I see.
Yep, the Ararat Plateau, which is in Armenia, and then you have the lower ends, which is Azerbaijan, which slopes towards the Caspian Sea.
North of Iran and north of Turkey.
Yeah,
Yes.
north of Iran, northeast of Turkey.
Northeast of Turkey. Interesting. And so, do you speak Armenian as well?
Sadly, I do not,
Yep.
because even in, I spent quite some time in Baku, in Azerbaijan, but there Russian was so known as lingua franca, because they have people from They had Russians there, they had
Yep.
Armenians, they had Jewish people, they had the local Azeris. Russian was like the common language. Everybody spoke to understand each other.
Right.
So sadly, I never got exposed, and of course in Moscow everybody spoke Russian. So I never got a chance to learn Armenian. Never really got exposed to it.
Yeah. And so, tell me about your recent productions that you've had.
I've had a very busy October. I've directed 2 shows at once. Actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. They were very different shows. One was it was at the Ixian,
Ixian.
Ensemble. Yeah,
Yep.
Ixian Ensemble.
Is that Jeff Croft?
That is Jeff Croft.
Right, yep.
That was the play that Jeff approached me to direct earlier this year, and I agreed to do it, and I did it. It was a very absurdist comedy called Welcome to the White Room.
Welcome to the White Room.
Yes.
And where was it at?
That took place at the Robin Theater at Rio Town.
Oh, Robin Theater in Rio Town, Lansing. Yep.
Yeah, and that went up at the end of October.
2 at a time, man. That's quite a feat.
Yes, another one, it was more like a one-day event. It's this newer place in Lansing called The Fledge.
Yep.
It's called Dracula's Wedding. And, I mean, it was a campy, kind of like a spectacle vampire wedding. We had Nerf guns, we had Van Helsing rappelling down from the balcony. It was that kind of show.
Yeah.
So that's when I co-directed, because I've told them right away, like, hey, I'm directing a full-fledged production right now, so I can really dedicate all my time. But we were able to pull it off. It was a fun show.
Yeah.
It was a fun experience. It had a very improvisational feel to it, but it all came together in the end.
Now, the Fledge is a incubator in Lansing, a technology and business kind of incubator, but also does some social incubating as well.
They do. They provide their space for all sorts of. I've seen all sorts of group of people come there. Usually, local related groups that want to do something for the neighborhood, for the area.
What productions do you have coming up? Anything you got planned for the winter? Or?
For the spring, but we start rehearsing soon. It's also going to be at Ixian. And Jeff Croft cast me in the play that he's directing.
Oh, okay.
It's called Fight Girl Battles World. It's a play by Queen Gwen. It's kind of like a crazy sci-fi, very... I don't know if you've seen, they had a play a few years ago, what is it called? But it's by the same author. It's also, it has like this fantasy D&D element. This one is more like a sci-fi comedy, where there's only like 2 last humans left on Earth.
Right.
So there I have 2 roles. I'm playing one half of Zimlag, the Godfather type alien.
Yep.
So we're a 2-headed alien in a zoot suit.
Right.
It's going to be me and Nick Lammerholz, who played in Welcome to the White Room. Yeah. We're like the space fight organizer, like a space fight ring organizer.
Oh, okay.
And I'm also going to be playing Commander Jabril, who's sort of like I wouldn't say a Darth Vader kind, but he's sort of one of the main antagonists of the Fight Girl.
Really?
He's trying to, eradicate all humans.
And so that's going to be at the Robin Theater in the spring?
That's going to open, I want to say March 12th at the Robin Theater.
Okay, yeah, so people should keep an eye out for that.
Yes, it's going to be an experience, because like with all there's a lot of fights, a lot of movement, so I'm looking forward to doing it in that space. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be one of the liveliest show that place I've ever seen.
Well, great. Thanks for coming on our show. It's so interesting, man. I look forward to it. So at the Robin Theater, what's the name of the play again?
Fight Girl Battles the World.
Fight Girl Battles the World.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, Leo. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Kevin.
Yeah.